So I'm here looking to see if I can find badger set, because we had a visit from a badger last night who was in with the chickens. So obviously I just want to make sure where he is, and you know, if the snow carries on, probably consider putting some food out. Now I've been told that the over there on that mound, but I'm not sure. The other thing I've seen this morning, because this is the back of my property, and next doors, I'm down the other side of the village, can't get to it from mine because there's a burn in the way, but over the snow there, I don't think we can see, but there are tracks going across the field. That's ploughed field there. They're going across there, then across the next one, which is my next door neighbour's, and then across that big one. You see the horse over there? That's my big field. So quite possibly we do have a Mr. Badger. Not quite sure how we're going to cope with that, because he's been digging up my veggies, which isn't good, and he's in with the chickens, which isn't good, because obviously we don't want him eating any chickens. So we'd rather he tried to we put food out somewhere while it's snowing and he can't get at worms and the other sort of things that badgers usually eat, and then stop again as soon as the snow goes. Maybe that will stop him coming up, but we'll see. One of the other things we're looking for, of course, is badger footprints. These are not badger footprints, are they? No. Big ones there are Jenny's, and the diddy ones there obviously are the midgets. So we'll see if we can find them. While we're here, I can introduce you to Jenny and Merle. Jenny's the border collie, and Merle's a Yorkshire Terrier. As you can see, being a toy dog, he's incredibly delicate. I do have to take an awful lot of care of his coat. Yeah, he must have lost his bow somewhere, and there's a lovely silk cushion waiting for him when we get home. Maybe. Merle, what you doing? Here he comes. He says, you know, it's awful cold. Are we going to go home now? Didn't find much badger evidence this side, did we? So, but we got those tracks. That's good. Maybe we'll leave some food out and see if we can keep him away from the chickens. Okay, well, I just found some more evidence. I'm down a track, just off the main track down here, which I'd never really seen before because it's always overgrown or there's snow. But as you can see, it's really well worn. Now, the funny thing about that is that if we walk down here, you can see we're going to get to the bottom, and it doesn't go anywhere. So this is not a track that walkers use, dog walkers or anything like that. You see we go round the trees here to the edge, and you just come to the burn. Now, so there's nowhere to go, there's fences here, big burn on that side, okay, but we come around here, you look across, you can very clearly see that is a well-worn track. Lots of footprints going just over the little burn there and through the field towards where they said the set was. So, yeah, definitely badgers. Now all we have to do is decide what we're going to do. Now, there's a lot of reasons why the badgers have started coming up near our house. A lot of reasons. This field you can see in front, this I'm actually at the other side of the burn now, going towards my house. So this field runs right down to that mound that we were looking at, which the badger set is meant to be at. Now this field has been left fallow for about at least 10 years. But this year all the fences are taken down and it's been ploughed up. So that's a big environmental change for these badgers. They would have done an awful lot of their food searching in this field. Also, you see over here, just over there, there's new houses being built. That's just the other side of where they are. That used to be a fallow field and had been fallow for as long as I can remember. And it was definitely fallow before we moved here. So there's some big environmental changes for an animal like that. Now, I mean, thinking about it, really, I did notice quite a few holes dug in our field where the horses are, and Kim had blamed it on the dogs, and I said I didn't think the dogs had done it. So obviously, looking at that now, that was probably badgers coming along digging for worms. I wouldn't have thought they'd be very happy working and digging in plough. So I mean, as well, it's the middle of March. We've had this really cold snap. I had a look online, and badgers generally have their badger cubs, I think that's the right word. They generally have their young middle of February, so they're looking for food to keep their cubs going, really. I mean, the mother would obviously still be feeding them, they'd still be taking milk off of her, so she's having to eat an awful lot more. And if the food's not there, if her traditional hunting grounds have now been, drastically changed, drastically altered, I mean, they would have been there for, in badger terms, generations. I mean, 10 years is a long time for badger. So that's why they're coming up to ours. So how this all started, Oliver came to put the chickens away last night. It wasn't dark, it was a little bit darker than this. I mean, this is dimpsy, overcast. He came out, and where the chickens are now, chickens are all in bed, where chickens are now, he saw a badger, which is unusual here, and because the chickens are all fenced in, there's no way to get in except jumping over the fence. So if you come and see here, we have some very clear badger prints. You see those big claws, and this is exactly what he did. He came running over here and he jumped over the fence, which is quite amazing. So what we need to do is we're going to need to take some precautions now for the chickens. One of the things we're going to do is make sure they're let out later at night, in the morning rather, and put away earlier, because of several factors which have meant the badgers are coming up here. We've never had them here before, and there's other things they've done as well, which we blamed on the dogs. Yes, we blamed it on you. We were like, bad dogs, or even the cat. We thought maybe the cat had done it. But we come over here. It's slippy. That was me nearly on my arse. That would have been really good. So we've just put in new beds around the front of the house, and I tidied it up a bit. But yeah, this was all dug out, and this was all dug out. I have my herbs under those pots there, but the badgers have been looking for worms, so they're coming in looking for soft places to dig.